Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you. Made the bad mistake of going with watching WCW pay-per-view leading into a 1995 pay-per-view, and I'm paying for it tonight. I got a 3-hour show of wrestling that does not look that good. But on Monday Night Raw, it's going to be a big one. I mean, WWE's going up against Monday Night Football, which is going to be making its debut, and the gimmick that they run every year is they're going to be having 2 live games, one for the East Coast and one for the West Coast. So, Monday Night Raw normally runs into some problems going up against football, and this week's going to be really stacked with everybody going crazy because they're basically, at the beginning of every season, every team has a chance to win it all. Everybody starts out in first place, and you can sort of tell where you are after the first game if you get a chance to run for the money. Luckily for me, I'm a San Francisco 49ers fan. I think we got a pretty good team. We're definitely going to be running in the running to definitely be a team that's going to go after the Lombardi Trophy. Definitely, we're not anything until we beat Seattle. That's going to be our toughest, battle of the year. We can't sort of look through any teams along the way. But, I think everybody's looking forward to football kicking off this weekend. Monday Night Raw is not going to go down without a fight. Of course, everybody knows about Michael Sam being invited last week. It seems that with him signing with the Dallas Cowboys, WWE is taking down the invitation off of their website. I think they've seen the writing on the wall. There probably was not even a phone call from Michael Sam to anybody in the WWE returning their call. But basically, they're going to be moving in another direction. It seems to be putting some eyes on the show. One of the gimmicks that always works in wrestling is the classic steel cage match. And they're going to be doing sort of the rubber match between Chris Jericho and Bray Wyatt. Everybody knows about the series of matches they had. A lot of people didn't think they were that good. I knew from watching the NXT match that basically, I knew Chris Jericho could pull a good match out of just about anybody, but these guys that had, a past reputation of having a bad match in NXT were basically the crowd turned on these guys. And NXT crowds don't turn on anybody. But basically, they went into a Battleground. I think everybody in the world thought that since Chris Jericho was a part-timer, there was no way in the world he was going to pull the win out. And surprise, surprise, he did. They rolled to the next, I think I said Payback. That was actually Battleground. From Battleground, they went on to SummerSlam. SummerSlam, Bray Wyatt was able to get his win back. I actually have a picture of my buddy Freaking EIA88 taking a nap at the show. We were sitting in the front row of the 100 section, so basically we had our own divider separating us from the floor, and he just ponied up on that thing, and he just laid down. Nobody cared about that match. I think Chris Jericho's mom and dad, if they were sitting in the crowd out there, wouldn't have cared about what was going on out there. It was almost like the Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton match, where basically, I think if you watch the match with an open mind, maybe if we go forward, 10 years from now and we watch that match back, we'll think that it's a pretty good match. But I think as of right now, Bray Wyatt's a guy that's losing a lot of his momentum. People are sort of saying, he's been doing the same thing for over a year. Basically, the promos are a copy and paste sort of deal. He hasn't gotten any wins over anybody. I think Bray Wyatt really turned for a lot of people when he didn't get the win at Mania against John Cena. And I thought that was something that they were going to pay for along the way. With Jericho coming in, I gave him the benefit of the doubt, thinking that they were going to turn it around. And for me, I think I might be even more bored with Bray Wyatt after the John Cena feud and after this Chris Jericho feud than I was before. But basically, steel cage match, all rules out the window from here. I think that basically, should be a match that Bray Wyatt wins. But then again, we're right before a pay-per-view, and I don't think that these guys are going to be facing off, more than likely. I think they're going to be going in different directions. I'm sort of hoping for a Chris Jericho versus Randy Orton match. I think that would be really, really good. Where they go with Bray Wyatt from there, I'm not sure. I think that if anybody's going to interfere in the John Cena match, I think it would be Bray Wyatt. It makes sense to do Bray Wyatt versus John Cena in a Hell in the Cell. If they have to do that, it's not that I'm saying that I want them to do that. I think that it is a match that is possible. to sort of pay off, the history that these guys have had along the way, and sort of finding a way to really end their feud. Since, they did have the Falls Count Anywhere, it was the last match these guys had, except for when Cena destroyed them on Monday Night Raw, and I think that's the one reason why I'm thinking that Bray might come down and interfere to re-kick off their feud, and as well get revenge for beating all three members of the Wyatt family on Monday Night Raw, and just sort of showing John Cena who's in charge and who's the boss around here. But that's going to be your big, I'm not going to say that's the main event. I don't know why you're going in thinking that you're going to lose a ratings war and you're not pulling out the big guns, calling a guy like Brock Lesnar to come on the show. Instead, you're hyping up with a steel cage match and Jerry Springer. And we'll do Jerry Springer later, but I don't know. Wyatt versus Jericho is a match that a lot of people have turned against. I don't think the steel cage is going to save it, where a lot of people are going to be turning from Monday Night Football to watching WWE. I don't think that the people that WWE is hoping that is going to be there to watch just this match aren't going to be there. I mean, you got Arizona against Seattle, which would be two West Coast teams going at it. And I think that could be a good game. So we'll have to see what Carson Palmer does, and pull one out for the Cardinals out there. I picked the Chargers in that game, honestly. So we'll have to see what goes down. Phillip Rivers, get me a win. Peace out, everybody.